Señoras y señores, amigos de Somos Baltimore Latino, tengan ustedes muy buenos días. Estamos transmitiendo en vivo y en directo desde el Courthouse del Condado de Baltimore. En un instante se estará iniciando una conferencia de prensa. Y el motivo de la conferencia de prensa es presentar el plan estratégico de bienvenida a la comunidad inmigrante en el Condado de Baltimore. Estará haciendo uso de la palabra el ejecutivo del condado, el señor Johnny Olszewski, y otras personas relacionadas con este plan. Entre ellas, lógicamente, la jefa, la directora de la Oficina de Asuntos de Inmigrantes del condado, Juliana Banks, que es una enlace latina que trabaja en el condado de Baltimore. Estamos esperando ya para que se acerquen los invitados y pueda iniciarse esta conferencia de prensa. Mientras tanto, déjenme compartir algunos datos muy importantes que nos acaban de entregar. Por ejemplo, si usted no lo sabía, la población hispana en el condado es de 103.700 inmigrantes que viven aquí en el condado de Baltimore, según cifras tomadas en el año 2019. Es una cantidad muy respetable. 103.700 inmigrantes de todas las comunidades viven en este condado. Y esto significa, por ejemplo, en la población demográfica, significa 15.6%, 15.6% de personas que viven en Baltimore por lo menos tienen una persona que nació de un inmigrante. Datos desde el 2019. Está presente los medios americanos también aquí. Somos el único medio latino presente en esta conferencia de prensa. Así que ya en cualquier momento se inicia esta conferencia de prensa. ¿Por qué estamos aquí? Bueno, estamos aquí cubriendo este evento porque tiene una importancia muy notable para la comunidad hispana, para la comunidad inmigrante en general, pero nosotros que trabajamos con la audiencia hispana cobra mayor notoriedad. Otro dato que quiero compartir con ustedes es que, por ejemplo, los inmigrantes que tienen limitaciones en hablar inglés, los hispanos representan el 33%. En ese orden están los coreanos con 9.4%, luego los chinos con 7.5%, los rusos con 7.4% y luego los árabes con 6.5%. El dato que tenemos es que 15.700 inmigrantes viven aquí en el condado de Baltimore y tienen limitaciones para el lenguaje inglés. Son cifras que estamos compartiendo, cifras oficiales que nos acaban de compartir la Oficina de Inmigrantes. Por ejemplo, en cuanto al poder económico de la comunidad inmigrante y las contribuciones de impuestos, podemos compartirles, por ejemplo, que 677 millones es la contribución de los inmigrantes y que esta cantidad ha ido para los taxes federales. Y 396 millones fueron para taxes locales y estatales. Y el poder económico de gasto de la comunidad inmigrante en el condado es de 2.8 billones. Cifras que me parecen muy importante. Y que lógicamente nosotros los latinos sabemos que esto es algo que lo venimos promoviendo y mencionando desde hace mucho tiempo. Pero es importante en este momento porque esto va a llegar a la audiencia americana, que es la que realmente necesita saber cuál es el tipo de contribución que tiene la comunidad inmigrante en todo Estados Unidos y básicamente aquí en el Condado de Baltimore. Siguen llegando los invitados, un poquito tarde, creo yo, porque nos citaron a las 10 de la mañana la prensa, ya son pasadas las 10. Bueno, acaba de llegar entonces, ahí está, acaba de llegar el ejecutivo, eso es indicativo que ya va a empezar la conferencia de prensa. Así que, atención amigos, hacemos una pausa y luego les damos más información. Mantengan la sintonía y compartan esta información.
Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here today on this momentous day for Baltimore County. As we launch what is the first of hopefully many more welcoming plans for immigrant integration and inclusion. Thank you for Mr. C for making this possible. Thank you to all of our task force members that are here today. I would like to recognize Ms. Kayla Williams from the Governor's Office and Ms. Jessica Clayton from Senator Van Hollen's office. This work has been a long time coming. It's been a year of hard conversations within government entities, our nonprofit partners, as well as our community. I would like to welcome our subcommittee chairs that are here today. Catalina Rodriguez Lima, Laura Brown, Tasha Gresham James, Mary Clay, Cindy Collado, and also our other task force members that are here. Annette Karanja, Cassie Miller, Tim Fandana, Alejandra Becasar from Towson University, our nonprofit partners, and all of our community members that are here. Thank you for being here, and I'm excited to introduce our county executive, Mr. Johnny Olszewski, to talk a little bit more about this journey to belonging.
Buenos dias todos. It is wonderful to be with you today, and I am just remarking at what an incredible collection of leaders we've had put this plan together. So to all of you who played a role, large and small, thank you for your participation in this work. We are thrilled to be here today to celebrate the launch of Baltimore County's Welcome Plan. This is a strategic plan that provides recommendations from hundreds of partners to make Baltimore County a more inclusive place where diverse and vibrant communities thrive. I want to thank all of our partners again, but I especially want to thank Juliana Valencia Banks, Baltimore County's first and amazing Chief of Immigrant Affairs. Juliana, your tireless efforts have made this plan a success, so thank you so much. Brianna Broberg of the Gateways for Growth, thank you for engaging private, nonprofit, and philanthropic partners throughout Veronica Kuhl from Kuhl & Associates. Thank you for your partnership on this work. Helani Sinkler, who is the chair of our New Americans Task Force. So thank you for your leadership of this effort. And again, thank you to all of our task force members. We are also grateful to all of our partners who hosted vital listening sessions to engage our communities and ensure they had a seat at the table. In particular, I want to give thanks to the Chinese American Parent Association of the Baltimore community, the Baltimore Association of Nepalese in America, or BANA, Lansdowne Middle School, the Islamic Society of Baltimore, and the Elimu Community Center. It is clear that this plan would not have been possible without the countless voices of partners and neighbors who agree that diversity is our strength in Baltimore County. We're proud to welcome new residents from around the world who are eager to share their values, build new connections, and use their talents to make our county a more vibrant place to call home. We firmly believe that every resident has the potential to succeed regardless of their place of birth, and we are committed to ensuring that they have the opportunity, access, and the support to find success here. Our immigrant community has faced many challenges, and recent events like the COVID-19 pandemic, and even more recently the collapse of the Key Bridge, have proven particularly difficult. In spite of that, the resilience displayed has been inspirational. And while we've been committed to doing all that we can to support this community in moments of crisis, we know that we can and we must do even more. And we are doing more to ensure that Baltimore County becomes a more inclusive place. More than ever, we're making it a priority to consider our decisions through the lens of diversity, equity, and inclusion, to ensure that we engage with and invest in new residents who have historically been denied a seat at the table. To ensure that these values remain a foundational part of our work, we codified our Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion into law. We've also proposed funding in our recent budget that will expand the Office of Immigrant Affairs to ensure that every department in Baltimore County has the means to offer translation and language services for our residents. We're also continuing to ensure that this work is transparent and accessible so that we can continue to work in collaboration with all our residents. An important part of that partnership has been our community listening sessions, where we have engaged more than 500 of our neighbors in conversations about how we can better support our immigrant communities. Our welcome plan is the product of those listening sessions, and it is a strategic plan that will help us become a more inclusive Baltimore County. Thank you again to our New Americans Task Force for their dedicated service and commitment to this important vision. Our welcome plan builds on their work to create new pathways to success, new opportunities to become change makers, new chances to contribute to our county, and new ways to be both seen and heard. We look forward to continuing to support and welcome our new residents, and we will continue to do everything we can to make sure that Baltimore County remains a place where diversity, inclusivity, and opportunity thrive. Thanks so much, and at this time, I'm happy to turn the program over to the chair of the Baltimore County Council, Izzy Potoka.
Thank you, County Executive, and thank you to all the members of the task force, and especially thank you, Juliana. This work is so important. I know firsthand that it's important. I was born of New Americans that did not speak the language, did not speak English at the time. They learned English over time. I've been working at this with Veronica Kuhl since 2007, 2008, we've been at this, and it's a continuing effort because we, as a society, an empathetic society, we have to help. We have to address issues that people don't know about unless you're part of a New American family. You're close, intimate to a New American family. I know when I was a child, when I was 8 years old, this is kind of when I speak at events and we talk about the issues of New Americans, this always comes back to me. As an 8-year-old child, I was the translator for my parents. I was the attorney for my parents. I was the doctor in many cases, because if we got an important letter that came to the house and it looked official in some way, then my parents would say, what does it mean to an 8-year-old child? What does this legal document mean? And I can tell you to this day, I've always felt that I did not live up to what my parents expected because I wasn't a lawyer at 8 years old. I wasn't a doctor at 8 years old. And so to me, this is a challenge that every child of new Americans experiences to this day. It may be different because things come through email nowadays. So that's something that I think the task force will work on. This has been really important to me, I guess, my whole adult life, and as I said, even during a child, but when I became a council member, it was so important that the first thing we did is we established a Hispanic outreach component to our council team. Carlos Gonzalez. Carlos, why don't you stand up for a moment? Come on, Carlos. Carlos Gonzalez has been instrumental to helping us in that. He's worked closely with Juliana, and they make a great tag team for Baltimore County and for us as a society. So I just wanted to share a few thoughts, and I'm so pleased that this county executive, again, this is the beginning of great work moving forward for Baltimore County, and especially for people that view new Americans in a different way. This is for us to view as being important and something critical that we're going to forge ahead, even though there may be detractors ahead. So with that, I'm going to end my remarks and just thank you once again, and I'm so delighted to invite Brianna to the stage. Brianna Broberg.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning. My name is Brianna Broberg. I'm a regional manager at an organization called Welcoming America. Welcoming America is a national, nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that leads a movement of inclusive communities becoming more prosperous by ensuring that everyone belongs. And at Welcoming America, we believe that all people, including immigrants, are valued contributors and vital to the success of our communities and our shared futures. On behalf of Welcoming America and our partners at the American Immigration Council, I want to congratulate the team from Baltimore County on the launch of the county's Welcoming and Belonging Strategic Plan. Welcoming America and the American Immigration Council work together to support the efforts of communities that participated in the Gateways for Growth Challenge, which we call G4G, by providing research and technical assistance as the participants in the program build a community-wide plan for immigrant inclusion that's supported by multi-sector local stakeholders. The entire Gateways for Growth team is really thrilled to have partnered to offer support for the efforts of Baltimore County and its stakeholder organizations, the New Americans Task Force, and other residents of the community. You all really seized the opportunity to make your community a more welcoming and resilient place where everyone, including immigrants, can prosper and belong. And the Gateways for Growth process is one that really does involve a lot of effort from a lot of people, as you've already heard this morning. And so whether it's someone who's helping to develop the plan, provide insight or input, share information about the G4G process with other community members, whatever the role, this really was a whole of community effort towards welcoming and inclusion. And the current result is this really amazing strategic plan, but we know that G4G is not where the welcoming work in this community started, and it's not where it will end. Now that the strategic plan is launching, the next step will be implementation. Taking the recommendations of the steering committee of the New Americans Task Force based on the insights and the input of Baltimore County residents to advance and strengthen the priority areas identified in the plan. We'll hear a little bit more about this morning. At Welcoming America, we believe that strong communities are ones that are connected and include people of all backgrounds, and that by doing so, communities and all of the residents who live there can meet their highest civic, social, and economic potential. And the Welcoming and Belonging Strategic Plan here in Baltimore County and the implementation of the recommendations it includes will strengthen the community, and I'm really excited to see that come to fruition. Creating and maintaining what we at Welcoming America call a welcoming infrastructure isn't a small task, and just as the community research, surveys, convening of the New Americans Task Force, and the creation of this plan required a whole of community approach, implementation will as well. And when it comes to creating and strengthening a welcoming place, as we know, no one can do it alone. This whole community approach will be necessary to create and sustain that welcoming infrastructure. It requires communities investing in immigrant inclusion programs and intentionally developing opportunities for collaboration between local government, schools, nonprofits, businesses, safety services, healthcare providers, other community organizations, and individual residents of the community. Welcoming places are made possible by welcoming people, and we are all empowered to foster more welcoming places at our work, in our neighborhoods, and in places of gathering. But welcoming work can sometimes feel overwhelming, if you're attempting to do it alone. It can be harder then to maintain gains and ensure accountability and to accurately represent the interests, values, and viewpoints of the community at large if you're operating on your own or with limited community connections, which is why this Welcoming and Belonging Strategic Plan provides such an exciting opportunity and resource. It was developed using a whole community approach, and its successful implementation will really provide added opportunities to continue to convene and work together across sectors to ensure that the recommendations in the plan become a reality. So I just want to say again, congratulations to everyone involved. Thank you so much for inviting me into your community to help celebrate the launch of this plan. And Welcoming America really looks forward to continuing to support the efforts of Baltimore County and all of its residents. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to turn things over to Veronica Kuhl.
Thank you so much. Muy buenos días, muy buenos días. We'll conduct the rest of the thing in Spanish. So guys, I'm Veronica Kuhl. I'm a very, very proud partner, friend of Baltimore County. I've been in Maryland for over 35 years. I have my own company, Kuhl & Associates, and I formed the company because the American mainstream was over here. I'm both Latina and American, both. So I'm in the middle with the Latinos going, ¿Dónde están los trabajos? And the Americans saying, you want to hire them. Why don't they come? Yo quiero. ¿Por qué no vienen? So I'm in the middle, and I did not understand they weren't connected. I thought it was like breathing, and apparently it wasn't. So the company came out of the need to be that bridge. So I'm so grateful to Juliana, Johnny, for welcoming us to Baltimore County to serve as that bridge. We conducted the outreach, both in person, supporting Ritzy and Juliana and their team in the New Americans Task Force, and we did it also digitally. We facilitated everything we could to ensure that all voices were heard. So we had 513 digital responses to the survey, which was translated into 6 languages. We made sure that it was as easy as possible. And with the partnership of trusted voices like Shirley, like the Nepalese community, Latino community, we managed to get honest responses to how new Americans felt in Baltimore County. And I want to pause for a second to simply say that no one else is doing this. We have other communities, other counties and jurisdictions. Baltimore City has been doing it for 15 years. Congratulations on codifying your office. But no one else is rolling out the red carpet. So if you do basic math, you have this population today stagnant or leaving, and solely for immigrants is your tax base in your neighborhood staying afloat. Not trashing, not upsetting, not threatening, simply stating facts. So either you welcome folks that are providing tax bases and becoming your workers, whether Latino, whether Korean, whether Nepalese, or you suffer deficits. So I have to commend you for rolling out that red carpet, for going as far as not only providing a plan, but making sure the plan was community informed. Sitting in a room with 5 different communities and hearing the praise of huge, important success. So if you look at the report, the Chinese community, 64% voter participation. Overall, 71% felt comfortable with the housing choices. They all felt comfortable in their churches, their faith communities, and schools. They even felt really comfortable with the law enforcement and police department. Now, we do have a lot of challenges. It's not all rosy and perfect. That would be foolish to lie to you all. But this is the right step. The fact that you rolled out the red carpet, you invited the community in their native tongue with trusted partners. You accelerated the engagement by years. But you can certainly post and invite, but no one comes unless they know they're welcome. They don't know that their voice will be heard and appreciated. So the next steps are crucial. Please, 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 don't let this lie in a pretty, beautiful binder. It's gorgeous, by the way, it's gorgeous. But please, don't let it sit there. You have the onus, the accountability to execute. So my personal asks, the bridge showed us this again, that you have to invest in our community. I'm not saying Latinos only, all of us. We have a huge population coming in Baltimore County is attracting them, so how do you keep them? How do you make sure those students graduate and stay here to work? Make it so we wanna stay. I'm not asking for favors, I'm not asking for free rides, I didn't say any of that. So I don't get the press later saying, oh, she wants it, no. Simply continue that engagement and know that we as new Americans are honored to be Americans. We want to support our home country. This is our country. We chose you. So we will overcompensate and do it 5 times better than anyone else because this is our home. So a shout out to you, Juliana, County Executive. The fact that you funded money, resources, and entire task force speaks volumes. So hopefully the other counties are taking note because immigrants are feeling good in Baltimore County. Thank you all very much. I believe I am introducing Brianna. Where do we go? Helani, it's you. Welcome over, the chairwoman of the task force. Welcome. Thank you.
Buenos dias, good morning. On behalf of the entire Baltimore County New Americans Task Force, I'd like to start out by extending a profound and sincere thank you to our community partners, advocates, stakeholders, service providers, media partners, and friends for joining us today as we unveil Baltimore County's Welcoming and Belonging Strategic Plan. A special thank you to Baltimore County Executive John Yo. I don't think we're at the Mr. C level yet. As well as members of his administration for issuing an executive order to establish this task force almost 1 year ago. This effort signaled intentionality, vision, and hope for a more inclusive Baltimore County. The perfect recipe we needed to launch this important work. Last but certainly not least, a special recognition extended to Ms. Juliana Valencia Banks for launching this endeavor and engaging us in this initiative. You did so not only because you believe it's important, but because you believe it's the right thing to do for our community. Gracias. My name is Helani Sinclair, my pronouns are she and her, and I had the distinct honor and privilege of serving as chair of the Baltimore County New Americans Task Force. And Juliana presented me with the opportunity to chair this remarkable group of individuals. My response and sentiment mirror the enthusiasm and the clarity we see and feel today, a resounding yes. Yes to uniting and leading a team of incredibly talented, dedicated, and passionate individuals to engage in discussions, strategize, and devise a strategic plan that will undoubtedly cultivate a more welcoming, a more inclusive, and a safer Baltimore County for new Americans. Yes to dedicating time, energy, and effort to uncover, address, and tackle the unique challenges and needs faced by immigrants as they adapt, settle, and make Baltimore County their new home. Yes to collaborating with more than 30 service providers, as you saw on the screen earlier, many of whom I've had the privilege to reconnect with through this initiative. Shout out to my Esperanza Center friends. And yes to cultivating new partnerships with those recently engaged. I greatly enjoyed our time together, and I'm deeply grateful for your passion and commitment. We could not have done it without all of you, so thank you. Together, we will advance our efforts and amplify the richness, value, and positive impact that new Americans bring to our county. As a Latina that migrated from Honduras almost 30 years ago and settled in Baltimore County, I know firsthand what a welcoming community looks like, but more importantly, what it feels like. You see, to new Americans, welcome and belonging are more than words just spoken in English. Welcome is embedded in our actions, in our policies, and our practices. Belonging is felt when we are treated and served with dignity and respect in our community, in our schools, our health departments, our local clinics, local government agencies, and places of worship. It's having access to services in our native tongue, as Veronica Kuhl mentioned, access to information that will empower and uplift us, thus eliminating barriers that keep many of us hidden and marginalized. It's being able to depend on and feeling safe enough to call local law enforcement when needed, and trusting that they will protect and serve our rights as Baltimore County residents. It's being included in the we of the work in our county and not as the others. These are common themes that we uncovered and addressed in Baltimore County's Welcoming and Strategic Plan. While I would love to read out all of the recommendations embedded in the plan, time is simply not on my side today. So instead, I will provide you all with an overview of the main points and themes highlighted and trust that you will read the full plan at your leisure. It is really good. The recommendations of Baltimore County's New American Task Force include, but are not limited to, the establishment of a cabinet-level office of New Americans to coordinate the many Baltimore County agency efforts, community partners, and ensure that the needs of immigrant communities are heard at the highest level of county government, so they don't go ignored and forgotten. Furthermore, we recommend that the office is codified to ensure that its existence remains for years to come, and allocate the necessary funding, because we can't do it for free, to support the office's operations, including budgeted and support personnel, budgeted staff and support personnel, much like the county's Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The office would serve as a conduit between local government advocates, nonprofit, civic groups, and faith-based institutions in Baltimore County. We also recommend the development and implementation of a language access strategy to provide equitable access to services and resources so that we no longer have to serve as our family's interpreters. This effort entails developing a language access policy for the county and delivering language access and cultural competency trainings to deliver cultural competency trainings to Baltimore County government and agencies so they are better equipped to serve New Americans. We also recommend that the Office of Immigrant Affairs would also provide oversight of the language access and technical support to those agencies working directly with New Americans. We recommend extending access to financial resources for New American business owners and entrepreneurs so they can earn sustainable living wages and achieve economic stability in order to thrive and prosper, giving New Americans a real chance at fulfilling the American dream. We recommend representation on Baltimore County's Workforce Development Board, that it is diverse, inclusive, and representative of New Americans. The idea of nothing for us without us. We recommend that the county increase outreach to English language learner communities about public safety and health and human services available to them throughout Baltimore County to ensure the needs are comprehensively met. This would require partnerships with local nonprofit organizations to offer Know Your Rights education and campaigns, and develop programs that inform communities about the process for reporting a crime, particularly hate crimes. I love what you say. It's right on point. Particularly hate crimes that target New American communities. We recommend the provision of county-wide language translation and interpretation services in educational contexts and develop an online hub that offers a single landing page with information about all levels of education, opportunities, and resources available in our county. This is just a high-level overview of what is embedded in more detail within the plan. In many ways, while the members of the New Americans Task Force have been engaged for months now, as we unveil the plan today, the work is just beginning. Therefore, we also recommend the development of a community advisory board to monitor progress of the plan and its recommendations. Similar to the engagement and dedication of the task force, the ongoing work that lies ahead requires thoughtful and intentional action, marked by deliberate effort and dedicated time from a diverse group of stakeholders, community partners, and members. By coming together collectively, we are stronger. I firmly believe that through our unified efforts, we can and will create a more welcoming and more inclusive Baltimore County for New Americans. One that values their contribution, embraces the richness of the many cultures New Americans represent, and supports their hopes and dreams so that they are able to achieve their full potential in our county. Thank you so much for the time today. I would now like to turn it over to Ms. Juliana Valencia Bay.
Thank you so much, Kalani, for those inspiring words. Folks, as you all have heard, this work starts today. It continues tomorrow and moving forward. As we work to create a Baltimore County that is inclusive of every person that has chosen this wonderful place as its home. And as I stand here before you in a room full of friends, let's be honest, family, I am thrilled to share that we have already taken steps to answer the call of our task force. As our county executive shared, we are making investments in language access because we recognize that it's not just about translation and interpretation, but it is about strategic plans that include cultural competency. As we stand here today, I'm delighted to share that our vendor is working on translating our strategic plan into the 5 most commonly spoken languages because we want to make sure that the people that we serve are also able to read about the ways that we intend to serve them. I am beyond delighted to let you all know that after months of working on a welcoming guide by our amazing Immigrant Affairs Outreach Coordinator, Ms. Rixie Amador, we will be able to soon publish this welcoming guide in all of the different languages spoken in our county. This has been a work of love to vest trusted community partners like DASA, like Esperanza Center, like the Alimu Community Center, like our Chinese Parent Association, like the Islamic Society of Baltimore, and our many different faith communities, so that when folks are looking for resources that are not only accessible to folks with limited English proficiency that speak 2 to 3 other languages, that they know where to go to, that these places are trusted, they have been vetted, that they will make them feel as home as I hope Baltimore County continues to make all of our new neighbors feel. I welcome you to join us on this plan. I welcome you to hold us accountable. And I welcome you to contribute, because this is the first, but it is certainly not the last. Thank you. So we would like to open this up for questions, if anybody has any questions. And I would like to invite our speakers to come up. If anybody has any questions to them. This is the quietest room.